calling for these big fights, I've been showing that, I back up everything I say. You know what I mean? And I think, I've been held back a lot, not only because these other fighters, they know that they don't want to give me opportunity because they know what's going to happen.
The next one will be Benavidez, the second one will be Bivol, and the third one, Zurdo Ramirez, and the other one will be Apitaya. So,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Since Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez fought each other on September 13th, major questions have circulated about where both fighters will go from here. Despite the time that has passed, neither has chosen an opponent for their next bout. Among boxing professionals, opinions are divided. Some suggest that both should retire, while others believe they should continue fighting but avoid a rematch. Instead, experts argue that Crawford and Alvarez should explore new and suitable opportunities that align with their current careers and legacies. Their next moves will be crucial in shaping the future direction of both legendary fighters.
For Canelo to continue is if he wants to right or wrong, he don't want to go out this way. And he looks, he looks to fight a fight that can put him back on a winning track and undo what was done by the Crawford fight, if that's possible. And I don't know if it is. As far as Crawford goes, hey, the world is him. The world is his, and whatever he chooses, he's earned it. He is the man right now. He's the top gun.
The major name currently circulating around both fighters is David Benavidez Jr., who is returning to the ring on November 22nd against Anthony Yarde. Several top figures in boxing have suggested that either Canelo Alvarez or Terence Crawford should face Benavidez next. Many fans also share this sentiment. A matchup involving Benavidez and either Canelo or Crawford is seen as a thrilling possibility that could capture global attention and reignite excitement in the boxing world. However, in a recent interview, David Benavidez has claimed Canelo Alvarez is frightened of confronting him in the ring and has continually avoided the clash. According to him, the reason for this avoidance is Canelo's recognition of his talent and skill, which he finds too difficult to manage. He claimed that Canelo struggles when up against powerful, large fighters, citing his results against Dmitry Bivol as evidence. Benavidez also stated that while the Mexican is effective against smaller fighters, he is hesitant to take on larger, stronger opponents like himself, fearing the consequences.
So the way I've seen him handle my presence is he's definitely scared of me. If you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. But Canelo Alvarez, as you can see from every time he fights a guy that's big with power, like Bivol, you know what I mean? And he's not able to suppress these fighters as much as he's able to suppress the little fighters.
Interestingly, Terence Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, has also dismissed the idea of a fight with David Benavidez. He added that their squad is now investigating alternative opponents rather than contemplating him. McIntyre underlined that Crawford had recently earned a significant victory over boxing's face, Canelo Alvarez, and that their focus now is on determining the best choices for the future. While they have not decided on their next step, Bomac has declared that a fight with Benavidez is not in their immediate or future plans, implying that Crawford's destiny will take a different road.
There's still a need for Benavidez.
Who, Canelo?
Turkey people are talking about it.
Turkey hit it at that. He was like Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turkey,
did.
So.
Turkey just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford.
No,
there.
no, ain't doing that fight.
Maybe planning on vacating the belts?
No, we ain't gonna vacate the belts. We just gonna sit where we need to sit for a minute, and then, just like I said, get back in the gym.
From the talks of Team Crawford, it appears that Team Crawford might be eyeing a potential fight with Jaron Boots Ennis, who is currently preparing for his upcoming showdown against Duisma Lima. In response to a question concerning the prospect of meeting Crawford following the fight in Lima, Ennis stated that he was unable to answer at this time. Ennis clarified that he is not currently considering any upcoming fights, and that his whole focus is on the September 11th showdown. He underlined that in boxing, winning always opens up new possibilities, and his primary objective is to win this bout and generate as many opportunities as he can in the future.
Boots, would you go to 160 to face Crawford for a super mega fight, or would you want to be undisputed at 154 pounds?
My main goal is Lima. That's it right now, at the moment. Gotta stay on point. Glad to be able to be making my debut at 154, and then after we handle business, then we're gonna talk about these other guys. But right now, main focus is Lima on October 11th. I can make a big statement at 154, and then we can talk about the other guys. But like I said, I ain't worried about what nobody's saying.
Furthermore, Jose Benavidez Sr., while reacting to his son's return, said that the upcoming fight is a big moment for their team. He described Anthony Yarde as a strong and accomplished fighter, acknowledging the threat he posed. Benavidez reiterated that in boxing, performance on the day of the bout is more important than any preparations or strategies made before. Everyone is aware of how swiftly Yarde's strength and accuracy can end battles, he said. Their primary concern at the moment is winning this significant match, and after they accomplish that, they will turn their attention to other significant chances.
We're here, we're focused on November 22nd. It's a top fight, one of the toughest fights in his career. And Anthony Yarde hit Kovalev with one good punch, and he stumbled him, and we're not underestimating nobody, so we're focused on that fight, but anything can happen. To be honest, after Anthony Yarde, then we can sit back and talk. Hopefully there's no cuts, no injuries, and everything should be okay.
Importantly, David Benavidez himself also praised Anthony Yarde, calling him an amazing talent. He indicated that pursuing large battles is his nature, and that Yarde was the most formidable candidate for his comeback. David remarked that he always feels motivated and satisfied when he takes on challenges and rises to the situation. He continued on to say that this upcoming fight will be nothing less than a war, guaranteeing spectators many exciting and intense moments. Benavidez feels that both competitors have something to prove, which heightens the excitement and unpredictability of this contest.
Obviously we wanted to get a great fight because the last fight with me and David Morrell lived up to expectation. I think it exceeded expectations. So we wanted to give the fans a good fight. We were in line for Bivol for the belts, but unfortunately that didn't happen. So we were looking, to get a crowd-pleasing fight, and we're trying to fight the best in the division of 175. If it's not the champions, we want to fight the next best guys. We were looking at some options, but the only one that really manifested itself was the fight with Anthony Yarde, and I think this is a crowd-pleasing fight. Anthony Yarde, he's a great fighter. He still has a ton of fight in him. He's been in there with Artur Beterbiev, Kovalev.
As the main headline of today, Benavidez expressed that the major fights he is targeting after his clash with Anthony Yarde are against Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol, especially if a bout with Canelo Alvarez does not materialize. He admitted that both Bivol and Beterbiev are outstanding fighters with remarkable strength and talent, which makes them perfect opponents for high-stakes bouts. In addition, Benavidez commented that taking on either of them would test him as a boxer and draw enormous attention and audience from around the world. He underlined that his objective is to land such high-profile bouts, and he hopes that his performance and hunger in the ring against Yarde on November 22nd will demonstrate that he is deserving of those chances.
100% focused on Anthony Yarde, and whatever comes next, comes next. But as for what I'm thinking of, that's... What else is there left? What other fights you guys want to see me fight? Especially that we're here with Turkey Al-Sheikh. We're getting these fights done. In my opinion, a fight with Beterbiev or Bivol is next. And doesn't know, if I was a different type of fighter, I'd be like, I'm going to go talk to my team and see what's the best. No, the fights I want are Beterbiev and Bivol. Just because I want to challenge myself. I want to be the best without a doubt. But, sometimes in the business sense, things happen. So sometimes things are tricky, and it's a little bit more difficult than just making the fight happen. But
in addition, as we know, David Benavidez was initially hoping to face either Terence Crawford or Canelo Alvarez. However, in his latest interview, David denied any current talks about a potential fight with Crawford. This may be due to Team Crawford's stance or his own belief that a fight with Crawford would be difficult to make. Benavidez said that he used to want to fight Crawford, but he has now changed his mind. Additionally, he made it clear that he had no intention of going after Crawford at the 168-pound weight class, indicating a change in focus towards potential opponents.
Let Crawford do his thing, bro. At the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. Yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. I've found the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo, and I'm just being real with you, and let Crawford do his thing. Let him have his, let him. I want to give his flowers, man, because he's a great fighter, man. When there's no other fighter that's coming up from 147 to beat a type of fighter like Canelo at 168, and Crawford, he's one of the greatest of all time. So, I have no interest in going down to 168. I'm not saying that I'm scared of Crawford, of
Moreover, then shifting his focus to a potential fight with Canelo Alvarez, David Benavidez mentioned that Canelo is still part of his future plans. He elaborated that although Canelo and Crawford fought at 168 pounds, they might possibly fight at 175 pounds. Because of Canelo's skill as a fighter and his desire of taking on difficult tasks in the ring, Benavidez said he would love to fight him. He moved on to say that he lost his last fight with Crawford because he didn't appear to be properly prepared.
Could you still make 168? Is that a possibility?
Honestly, bro, my plan is after this fight, I want to go down to 154. Nah, bro. I'm done with cruiserweight. You know, I want to take this opportunity, though. Yes, I say cruiserweight. I want to take this opportunity to, congratulate Crawford. He put a hell of a performance. He's up there in the Mount Rushmore of the greatest fighters of all time. And, let Crawford do his thing, bro. At the end of the day, I have no interest in fighting Crawford. I have no interest in going down to 168. I mean, yeah, it's nice that it would be dope winning all titles, but I'm way past that at 168. I've found the only reason I wouldn't even go down to 168 for Canelo.
As we know, Canelo Alvarez has been challenged to a fight by David Benavidez, but legendary trainer Ronnie Shields has told him not to accept the challenge. Shields made a suggestion that the Mexican boxing legend could want to consider retirement at this time. He claimed that Canelo's career is exceptional, full of distinction and noteworthy accomplishments that have already cemented his standing in the sport. Shields stated that he has nothing left to prove and that it would be preferable for him to retire contentedly rather than risk a difficult battle once more.
When it's over, it's over. And right now, I don't feel he should fight anymore. Look, he had one of the best careers any fighter could ever have. He's done everything he set out to do. What's next? To prove what? He has nothing to prove. He's already proved everything. And I think right now, the door is closed. He should shut it himself and say, you know what? I've had a great career. That's enough is enough.
So Benavidez fight doesn't catch your attention at this moment?
Not at all.
Moving forward, Jose Benavidez Sr., while reacting to the Canelo vs. Crawford fight, mentioned that he did not expect the bout to unfold the way it did. He acknowledged that he was rooting for Canelo to win on fight night, just like most boxing fans. Crawford, on the other hand, had other ideas. He displayed exceptional talent and cunning tactics, which finally led to the greatest triumph of his career. Benavidez Sr. praised Crawford's outstanding performance, stressing that his poise and strategy in the ring were crucial to the victory, which was unexpected and unprecedented.
The reaction, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I thought Canelo was going to stop Crawford. If I would have bet some money, it would have been on Canelo. But what a display Terrence Crawford put. I would never expected that. I thought, yeah, he has a chance, if he just touches and makes points and goes to distance. But he stayed in there and traded with Canelo Alvarez. He hurt Canelo a couple of times, and he looked spectacular. Congratulations to Terrence Crawford for that great performance. And man, it was a great fight.
Additionally, one of the hardest fights of David Benavidez's career was his final bout with David Morrell Jr. Both combatants displayed exceptional skill, strength, and resolve during the fight. David got off to a great start, controlling the first few rounds with his signature aggression and body shots. But Morrell was very resilient and had good counterpunching skills, so the bout was really competitive. Morrell started to feel the effects of Benavidez's pressure and work rate as the rounds went on. David won a hard-fought unanimous decision victory in the later rounds thanks to his steady combinations and endurance, further solidifying his place among boxing's elite. After that bout, Jim Lampley had nothing but praise for David Benavidez Jr.
But what he didn't have was any way of defending effectively against Benavidez's roundhouse shots upstairs and to the body. Benavidez's constant application of power to the rib cage, to the shoulders, to any place he could touch. At the end of the day, if there's one thing Morrell should have learned tonight, throw body punches. That's the way to win big fights. I went into the 10th round saying on PPV.com that I didn't think I had seen Morrell land a single meaningful body punch in the fight.
However, for now, David Benavidez is putting in tremendous effort as he prepares for his upcoming fight against Anthony Yarde. He is acutely aware of the difficulty that lies ahead and knows that Yarde is a powerful, explosive, and extremely talented fighter who has the to alter the outcome of a fight at any time. In light of this, Benavidez is working to improve all facets of his strategy, including his timing, concentration, and flexibility within the ring. He comprehends that this bout is a critical test of his mentality and discipline rather than just another comeback. For Benavidez, taking on Yarde is about exhibiting his poise and resolve in the face of a formidable foe, not just about vying for dominance. Significantly, Jose Benavidez has also mentioned that David is fully ready both physically and mentally. He disclosed that even though they will be performing on a large stage again in a few months, their confidence is still very high. They want to continue their momentum and take up exactly where they left off. Benavidez continued. He underscored that his kid has made great progress in both form and thinking, adding that he is now sharper and more focused than before. He declared that when his son returns to the ring on November 22nd to show off his growth, spectators will be able to see these changes for themselves.
But at the end of the day, we got to stay focused. We got to continue working hard. He's only 28 years old, and he's looking better than ever. And he's connecting with God, with the universe, the frequencies, the vibrations, and he's meditating a lot, and he's visualizing a lot, and that's what I see on him right now. So, man, he gives me the confidence of Superman right now.
In the camp, mentally, Benavidez seems highly motivated and locked in order to show off to his supporters that he is still one of the sport's most dangerous fighters. He has talked about how crucial it is for him to put on a statement performance. His focus is on dominance rather than just winning. He knows Yarde will come to win, and that thought fuels his preparation even more. Benavidez appears to be carrying a quiet confidence, built on experience and maturity. He appears committed to fighting intelligently, managing the tempo, and showcasing his development as a full-fledged fighter rather than depending only on aggression. Now, all of his attention is focused on making November 22nd a night that will go down in his career as a turning point. Beyond the Yarde bout, Benavidez is aware of the enormous prospects that could present themselves if he puts on a strong performance. Potential fights against boxing greats like Dmitry Bivol, Artur Beterbiev, or Canelo Alvarez might become possible with a resounding win. Fights like these have the power to make him a household name and an international star. For Benavidez, defeating Yarde is about more than just winning. It's about laying the groundwork for the next phase of his championship run. Further talking about David Benavidez, he has made a name for himself as one of the most formidable super middleweights in boxing, with an unbeaten record and a reputation for unrelenting power and aggression. At the age of 20, he became the youngest fighter to win the championship and was a two-time WBC world champion, with decisive wins over well-regarded opponents like Anthony Dirrell, David Lemieux, and Caleb Plant. Benavidez has demonstrated his abilities and dismantled top competition. Many people consider him to be the future face of the 168-pound division because of his great resume, combo punching, stamina, and tenacity. Let's go back to his response after defeating Anthony Dirrell.
I feel great, man. Words can't explain how good I feel. I said I was going to get in here. I was going to win the belt again. like I said, it was a hard fight. You know, my Darrell was trying to catch me all night. He was trying to counter me when I would step in, but you know, we were willing to take the chances, and he didn't catch me at all. It was a hard fight, but you know, my dreams come true. You know, second time fighting on pay-per-view. All my people out there came out to support. So man, it's an amazing feeling. I just can't wait to get back in there again and defend my titles.
Considering all these things, as rumors circulate about David Benavidez's next opponent, Canelo Alvarez, Artur Beterbiev, or Dmitry Bivol, the boxing community is a flurry of excitement because they think Benavidez hasn't yet been given the chances he deserves in his career. Fans are excited to see him compete against one of these well-known fighters. Many believe it's time for him to compete against the best in the sport. Canelo's future is also uncertain because there are continuous discussions regarding whether he will retire or fight on. The potential of a bout with Benavidez is still one of boxing's main draws if he decides to continue competing. In the end, what do you think? Who should David Benavidez fight next, and why? Should he finally face Canelo Alvarez in one of boxing's most anticipated showdowns, or go after the champions Artur Beterbiev or Dmitry Bivol for ultimate glory? Share your thoughts and predictions about Benavidez's next move in the comments section below. We'd love to hear your opinions on how these matchups could shape the future of boxing. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support motivates us to bring you more exciting updates, analysis, and discussions on the biggest stories in boxing. Stay tuned.